What's up, YouTube? Midnight Crawler back up in this piece. And today I'll be sharing with you my entire comedy collection on DVD. This will be split up into two parts, and I also split up the collection into decades. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the 70s and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Really cool special edition with two discs inside, and just an all-time classic right here. Yes, sir. Lots of special features, as you see on the back here. Next up, we have the 30th anniversary special edition of Blazing Saddles, another classic right here. Nothing too fancy on this one, just a single disc, but do get a lot of special features. Next up, we got some stoner comedy and Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, an all-time classic, man. Absolutely love this one. Especially when he gets paranoid when they get pulled over, or when the cop comes up to their car, because they don't get pulled over. They're so lit. Just hilarious. All right, next up we have Kentucky Fried Movie. And yeah, this was a late watch for me. I did not grow up watching this one. I scored it a few years ago at a pawn shop of all places. It's an Anchor Bay release, but it's reminiscent of the Airplane movies, kind of like skit comedies, but man, it's fun stuff right here, man. Kentucky Fried Movie. And finally, for the 70s, we have Animal House, Double Secret Probation Edition. Now, the only one disc on this one, but it does have a bunch of special features and lots of fun. A classic film. Next up, we're moving into my favorite decade of comedies, and that's going to be the 80s. And first up, probably my favorite 80s comedy, it's going to be Revenge of the Nerds. And part two, Nerds in Paradise. The first one, The Nerds, I did watch on VHS years ago. And the second one, I was lucky enough to watch it in theaters. And it was PG-13, so I was, able to go with my friends. Yeah, just a flipper disc in there. But man, absolutely love this gem right here. Next up, another favorite, Airplane. Don't Call Me Shirley edition. Yes, sir. Some fun stuff here, man. Absolute blast. All right, we're getting into some Bill Murray flicks now. First up, Caddyshack, 20th anniversary. And yeah, man, it's just an all-time classic. Absolutely love it. Good old snapper case. Next up, Stripes, the extended cut. Now I'm not sure if I had seen this one before, like extended, but yeah, there was some extra PJ Soul goodness in here, if you know what I'm talking about, man. She gets you get to see a lot of her. I'll put it that way. Really enjoyed that. And we have a Scrooged. Yep, good one to watch during the holidays. Get you in that mood. All right, moving on, we got Porky's. This is the one size fits all edition, which is a really cool one. Has a bunch of special features and does have like different artwork on the case. Really like that right there. Some condoms. And I also have this triple set of the Porky's films. First, the second, The Next Day, and Porky's Revenge. All from the 80s as well. Yep. Are they single? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. So they are single. And you also get the one size fits all edition there if you're curious. That's pretty cool. All right, next up, another Cheech and Chong flick, and it's going to be Things Are Tough All Over. Now, I'm not too familiar with this one, like Up in Smoke, but this one's still a lot of fun. Yes, sir. Stoner comedy. And got some more Cheech and Born in East LA. Absolutely love this one. Used to watch it repeatedly on Cinemax back in the days. I hear there's a better edition out there with special features, including a commentary. So, yeah, this one's just kind of like the bare bones edition. Still good, though. Three Amigos. Oh, yeah. Excellent cast. Look at that. Classic goodness. Yeah, lots of fun here. John Landis directed. And we're going to follow that up with one of my faves, Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. Just a total blast, a fun little mockumentary covering a rock band. If you've never seen it, just in case, but highly recommend it. Absolute gem. All right, speaking of gems, Short Circuit. Oh man, I don't know how many times I've seen this back in the days, but it was a childhood staple of mine. Johnny Five is alive. Oh yeah. Next up, the Blues Brothers. Fun little flick right here. Is this another John Landis flick? I believe. Yes, sir. John Landis. Not only does he do horror, he did a bunch of comedy as well. And this one's fun. A raunchy classic, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh yeah. This is a awesome special edition. Totally awesome special edition. Okay. But yeah. Special features on there. But yeah, a classic right here. Speaking of classics, we have Police Academy. Man, I used to watch this religiously on Cinemax back in the days, and renting them as well on VHS. Snapper case there. And I do have part 3, luckily. I don't have the others, but definitely be on the lookout for them at pawn shops, when I do frequent them. But yeah, love the Police Academy series. And we have some High Spirits, some Steve Guttenberg and Daryl Hannah goodness right here. This one's fun, man. It's a little ghostly as well. Some ghost comedy. Speaking of ghosts, who are you going to call? Yes, Ghostbusters. Now, a lot of people have this in their horror collection. I don't. I think it's more of a comedy for me. But an absolute blast, a classic. Don't have the sequel, sadly, but I'll follow that up with Beetlejuice. Another little horror comedy, but light on the horror. But yeah, everybody loves Beetlejuice, don't they? Weekend at Bernie's. Oh yeah, gotta have this in the collection. So much fun. Don't have the sequel. Now this one's gonna now we're gonna transition to the 90s, but still 80s. We have Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Beverly Hills Cop 3, as some of the films are from the 90s, but this is a very cool triple feature. So let's see, are they by themselves? Yeah, you get your single discs inside. That's pretty cool. I always like that. And one of them is directed by John Landis. I think it's the third one. Keeping with that tradition of the 3-pack, we have the Ernest Goes to Camp. That's from the 80s, and the others are from the 90s. Ernest Scared Stupid and Ernest Goes to Jail. Big Ernest fan back in the days. Tried watching them recently, and I just can't do it. Can't do it anymore. But still, I got to keep that in the collection. Lots of nostalgia. And we're gonna finish it up with Bill and Ted's double feature for the 80s. The first one, and the Bogus Journey is from the 90s. So let's jump into the 90s now. Little stack right here, but you're gonna see when I discovered Kevin Smith and Clerks. I actually saw this for the very first time on IFC Network, and I just absolutely loved it and couldn't stop watching it. And yeah, this is just a staple here at the Midnight Crawler domain. Of course, I have to have Mallrats. Oh yeah, you already know. What's really cool is I got to meet Jason Mewes at a mall in San Antonio. He was at a GameStop of all places. He was like looking for games to buy. I guess he's a big gamer, but very cool, very approachable. Asked him if I could take a selfie with him. He was like, sure. And very awesome time. Mallrats. Next up, it's But I'm a Cheerleader, starring Natasha Lyonne. And this was another IFC Network film that I watched years ago, and I loved it. And I got my sister into it, and she loved it too. And Natasha Lyonne, she was coming off the American Pie movies, so she was popular at the time. And this movie had also RuPaul, Clea Duvall, a bunch of actors that are, that are well known nowadays. But I'm a Cheerleader is such a fun flick. Oh yeah, we got to go with some Dazed and Confused right here, baby. Some young Mila Jovovich, and also filmed in Austin, Texas. The school they use is actually just a few miles from my location. I believe the school is called Bedichek Elementary, but yeah, that's the school they used. And yeah, man, Austin, Texas, filmed in Austin, Texas, the majority of the film, and if not all, but yeah, a cult classic now. And we're gonna finish it off for the 90s, guys, with Drop Dead Fred. Now, this is one I did not grow up watching, but later on, I found out how popular it was for other people. And I actually found this at a pawn shop of all places. Now I hear it's getting a better release, a more, So I forgot who's gonna do it. Maybe Arrow. I'm not sure, but yeah, this was a pawn shop find for $1. So I was really happy to finally watch this. It was recently, and you know, it wasn't bad. But I did not grow up watching this one like other people did. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys, for part 1 of my comedy collection. I hope you enjoy. I'll be back with part 2 next week, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.